I'm Big Bear Nose. We're approaching the end of the second month here on the CONKREALM Minecraft survival realm. Last week we worked on the area surrounding our base. We created a flowing river as a border around our base, an old worn bridge for us to cross it. We created a cozy little camp where the fireflies come out at night, and through the forest, we built a dock on our secret beach. We gave plenty of love to the outside of our base, but it's time we look inwards. Not into this cozy cabin, but down below in our underground base. Over the last few days, I've been working hard to complete our underground base, and I'm going to take you through every little thing I did. First things first, as we drop into the entrance of our underground base, you may notice I've removed all of the tall grass that was here before. I didn't feel like it really added anything to the entrance, and now your eyes are drawn more to the walls and to our bare head-shaped piston door. You may have noticed something on the way down. Previously on our fall down to the entrance and our bubble elevator back up, those tunnels down and up were all natural terrain, meaning we'd be falling past variations of stone, copper ore, and gravel. Those tunnel walls have been completely stripped out and replaced with black stone, making for a much nicer, cleaner aesthetic, and adding to the feeling of suspense and mystery as you fall through a dark void before you reach your destination in the entrance down below. Into the hallway, each and every room on our left and right is now complete. As a recap for the rooms that had already been completed, let's first go into our farming facility. Down these stairs on the left we have a semi-automatic wheat farm, and on the right we have plots for carrots, potatoes, pumpkins, melons, and beetroot. Just like the entrance, we have blue walls resembling the sky, with little white clouds adorning them, as well as a mossy green floor, which is supposed to resemble grass. These serve as a reminder of the outside world, which might keep whoever's down here working on secret projects from going insane after staring at white walls all day. Secondly, we have our livestock facility. Once again, we have sky blue walls, adorned with clouds, and green moss as grass. And here, it's just as much for us as it is for the animals. Here we have a barn, where our cows, pigs, and sheep get to hang out all day and graze on some real grass. We also have cold and warm variants of the animals after we spent some time exploring the Spring to Life drop a couple weeks ago. And now onto our newly upgraded rooms, starting with our crafting facility. In here we have white concrete walls and a deep slate tile floor. On the left we have a counter, where all of our utility blocks are accessible to us, and we have plenty of space to craft whatever we need. Raised high on a shelf above we have our potion stands, and on the right of the room we have our stone cutter and our grindstone. This is also where we have our furnaces, blast furnaces, and smokers, which are connected via a pipe to a great big lava furnace that we have sitting at the back of the room, providing a constant source of power to our furnaces. And as our centerpiece to bring everything together we have our anvil. The white walls you see in this room are going to be a common theme. That's going to make some rooms feel like they're a little unsettling. But in here I think it actually works really well with the deep slate, and since this might be the first room you enter after entering our underground base, it kind of makes sense. It doesn't start as a liminal space, you're eased into it. Next, let's check out our storage facility. This one is real simple. The theme is wood, wood, wood. We have spruce trapdoors for the ceiling, a stone brick path to break up all the brown, and otherwise it's all logs, planks, and slabs, with shroom lights for lighting, and all of our chests laid out with item frames for organization. This room is definitely substance over style, but before this week it was not organized at all, so it's nice to be able to come into a warmly lit storage facility where everything has its place. Next we have our enchanting room. I wanted this room to feel mystical, magical. We have purple amethyst blocks for the floor, we have soul lanterns hanging from the ceiling, and all around our enchantment table, lining the walls, we have bookshelves and chiseled bookshelves. It's not just the 15 bookshelves surrounding the enchanting table that are empowering it, but the entire room. onto our nether portal room. An aesthetic I always love with portal rooms is when it looks like the nether is leaking out, where the nether has begun to enter the overworld and is going to spread uncontrollably as long as the portal remains open. Next to the portal we have a barrel where we can place our golden boots so we don't get attacked by piglins. And we've also done some work to the other side of the portal, removing all this ugly cobblestone, creating a wood structure over the portal, replacing torches with shroom lights, now looking a lot less of an eyesore, and making a stone brick path leading up the hill, lined with the same shroom light lanterns that we have on the small path outside of our base, lending to the narrative that we've integrated things from the nether into the overworld, and vice versa, integrating things from the overworld into the nether, which is why here we have a tree, which implies experimentation and makes for great decoration. And towards the end of our path, we have a signpost, letting any nether travelers know that if they head left, they'll find their way to our big bear base, and if they head right, they'll find themselves in the nether wastes biome. And if they do happen to head over to our portal, from the top of the stairs, they'll notice that the wood structure over our portal has a bear symbol on top. How very cute. Now how about our living facility? If we head up these stairs, we'll find something pretty creepy. This room is completely white. White concrete walls, white concrete floor, white concrete ceiling. There are 4 white beds, evenly spaced, with pale oak headboards. No bedside tables. In fact, absolutely no decoration at all, except this unsettling painting, which fills the center of the back wall. This room contributes to the fact that the vibes are kind of off down here, and this next room is only going to solidify that. The first thing you see when you enter is a pale oak trapdoor, and a sign above it which says Security Clearance Level 5 only. And if we head down, we enter a strange room filled with what seems to be experiments. We have a floating table held up by chains in the middle, a decontamination chamber, a sealed off chamber with an end crystal inside, a glass cage with a salmon perpetually swimming inside, and we have pipes running off from these experiments into the walls, and a big node of glowstone. Someone is down here using all of these things, experimenting. Are they trying to find something? Are they trying to do something with these things? Where do those pipes lead? And what experiments have occurred down here that require the use of a decontamination chamber after? These are the questions running through the mind of someone who has wandered into our underground base with no context for what is happening. But you, of course, will be getting context very, very soon. These experiments do, or perhaps did, have a purpose. Whether they succeeded or not, you're gonna have to wait to find out. From here we go back to some normalcy, as it's time to check out our zombie spawner XP farm. If we ride there on our mini railway, you'll see this room has now been upgraded. It's a lot more spacious, perfectly lit with lanterns, and the walls have been replaced by cobblestone and mossy cobblestone. My least favorite thing about XP farms is that you lose access to the dungeon with the spawner, but the feeling of mining, spotting cobblestone you know you didn't place out of the corner of your eye, breaking into a dungeon, that feeling is magical. So I wanted to bring it here, and make our zombie spawner XP farm feel like it is part of the dungeon. And it would be unfortunate to upgrade our zombie spawner XP farm room, and not the hallway that connects it to our base, where we have our mini railway. So I got to work on upgrading that too, and voila! We enter the hallway, and the hallway opens up. There's a railway in the very center, and if we grab a minecart from this chest, place it down and press the wood button, we're taken all the way to our zombie spawner XP farm. which is now connected to the hallway with some stone brick stairs, and looks so much nicer. And for our final room in our underground base, we have our mine. This one didn't really need any upgrades. We open the door, and we're led directly down into the mine below. And so there we have it, our complete underground base. Every room is complete, and I'm really happy with how everything has come together. Of course, there is the room at the very end of the hallway. That hasn't opened yet, but before it does, the underground portion of our base is done, but we have some final flourishes to add to the outside of our base. First of all, our dock. I add some additional fences hanging over the end of the dock here, which I think makes it look a lot more complete. For the lampposts lining the path from our bridge to our base, I've replaced some of the stone brick bases with mossy stone brick bases, to once again add to the feeling that this place is old and worn down. For our big bear snout at the front of our base, I'm replacing these stripped birch logs with stripped birch wood. Now they're the same pattern all the way around, and they look a little better both up close and from a distance. And so with the final flourishes on our big bear base complete, it's time. The door at the end of the hallway has opened. It's time for you to find out what all of these experiments have been for. What the secret project I've been working on for the past 2 months here on CONKREALM has been. Next week, that is, on the final ever episode of CONKREALM. I hope you've enjoyed this week's episode. Thank you so much for joining me. You can check out Conker87's channel in the description. Let me know in the comments what your favorite thing is about our final Big Bear base. And until next time, have a very great day.